Okay, good afternoon to many. Good evening to some. And we're up to Lamed Hey Amid Beis. Lamed Hey Amid Beis, 5 lines up. Rav Yehuda Amarav. Rav Yehuda Amarav, as we're joined by Harold. Okay, Heshi, 5 line. We're just beginning now. 5 lines up. Lamed Hey Rav Yehuda Amarav. Says Rav Yehuda in the name of Rav. Says Rav Yehuda in the name of Rav. Interesting halacha. Yisrael haba machmas akum. A Yisrael that comes as a result of an akum. Hayehuka akum. Ma akum ein lechazak af el b'shtar. Af Yisrael ein lechazak el b'shtar. What exactly is the case over here? Let's see the Rashbam. Explains it quite well. Okay. Avrami, nice to see you, Avrami. So it's the last Rashbam on the page. Yisrael haba machmas akum hayehuka akum. Everyone knows this field belonged to a Jew. And the Akum ate 3 years of chazaka. Or more. And the Akum claims Yisrael that he bought it from a Jew. So in other words, this Akum wants to claim that the field is his because he ate shani chazaka. Another Jew comes along and purchases that land from the Akum. He as well goes ahead and eats shani chazaka or yaser. So the original owner would come and say, "What are you doing on my field?" And I'll say, "I bought it from the Akum who bought it from you." We're not going to believe him because the Akum's whole claim, guys, is based upon chazaka, and Akum does not have a chazaka, so it remains a chazaka she'eni mataina. So that we can cut the case over here in the Rashbam. Guys, you hear the case? An Akum stays on the land for 3 years or more, and then he sells it to a Jew. And now the original owner comes and asks the Jew, "What are you doing on my land?" And the Jew says, "I ate shani chazaka after I bought it from an Akum who ate shani chazaka before that." So his whole claim on the land is based upon the goy's shani chazaka, that he had a right to sell it. And since the goy doesn't have chazaka, so Mamela, what his taina that he bought it from the goy remains without a claim. So it's chazaka she'eni mataina, and therefore the original owner will get back the land. So now look at the words of the Gemara, make a lot of sense. Rav Yehuda Yisrael haba machmas akum, a Yisrael that comes machmas the chazaka of an akum, hayehuka akum, he has a locha of an akum. Ma akum ein lechazaka, just like an akum, the chazaka doesn't help at all. Af b'shtar, el b'shtar, only b'shtar. Af Yisrael haba machmas akum, so to a Yisrael that comes as a result of an akum, ein lechazaka, geshmak. El b'shtar, only b'shtar. Amar Rava, says Rava, v'hi amar Yisrael, l'didi amali akum, the mincha zavna mehimna. In other words, if the akum would claim and say he bought it from you, the akum would say that he bought it from you, then he would have a chazaka. So the case previously was the akum didn't say anything. He was on the land for 3 years. He sold him the land as if it was his own. But if he informed the Jew that he had bought it from the previous Jew, that and he ate shani chazaka, that would be good. For the Gemara, the ilu akum amar lemehimna, vilu am Yisrael mishmei the akum himna. Why would the akum would say he bought it from the guy, the yid, and he doesn't have a shtar? Would we believe him? Absolutely not. Not only when we believe him, his shani chazaka would be useless. So how's it possible that this person claiming that since the guy said he bought it from you, it's okay? Your claim can't be any better than the guy's claim. The guy's claim is not a claim. Good, he's saying he bought it from the Jew, but his claim doesn't mean anything. Since his claim doesn't mean anything, therefore your claim doesn't mean anything. That shaka, without saying he bought it from the, doesn't make a difference. Shani chazaka said he bought it from the Jew. Doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. Says Rava, Yisrael kami didi zavna. If the Yisrael said in front of me, zavna akam inach, the akam bought it from you, then v'zovna nele, and I bought it from him, then mehimna, then he would be believed. So again, this Jew is saying that I saw you buy it from the guy. I saw the guy buy, excuse me, I saw the guy buy it from you. So now the guy is not claiming anything. It's all about the Jew. The Jew is saying I bought it from the guy, and therefore, since we're not involving the guy in the claim, so and the Eish Shani Chazaka, so it's why would this work? Migudi boy Amalei Anosef Intaminach. The Jew could have let the guy out of the whole issue and said in the first place, you know what, I bought it from you. So in a case where a guy said, I saw you sell it to the guy, and I bought it from the guy, the guy didn't say anything, and therefore what? You would have a good claim on this land. So from now, it's an interesting Gemara, guys. We're speaking about cases where it's not Shani Chazaka. So the first case we see is not Shani Chazaka, is the Chazaka of a guy. That's the first case where we say you don't have Shani Chazaka. And we're going to go through, like, point by point, we're going to go through different scenarios of cases where we don't say there's a Chazaka. Again, what's the svar of chazaka? You should have been meicha. You should go ahead and complain. No one's going to stand around and watch a person going ahead, working his land, eating his produce, and not say anything. The fact there wasn't a macha would go ahead and lend credibility. A hichacha that in fact belonged to the person who is squatting on the land. So the Amar of Yehuda Hayman did not get this person who took, Hayman did not get this person who took Magla. He took a sickle, Vituvlaya, and a rope. Remember, he would go ahead and up a tree. We had this Gemara previously, remember, for Paris. So he went ahead and he took a sickle and a rope, the Amar, and he said, Ezel Igzera Lidikla de Laplanya, I will go harvest the produce, the dates of so and so. This is Vante Mine, who brought it from him. I'll go and do that. No, then he's believed. In him that he be believed, and he be believed. That because why? Because the chatzif inish lemigzar digla delav delay. No person would have the chutzpah to go ahead and cut a tree that wasn't his. So a person goes ahead, says, "I'll go and I'll harvest the tomorrow from this decal of so and so who sold it to me." Then he would be believed because the person doesn't have the chutzpah to go ahead right and harvest from the fruit from somebody else. Rama Yehuda Hayman the achsik miguda the aroide ulavar. A person could take hold of a parcel of land from the wall of the aroide and outside. Okay, it seems the following, outside fellas. It seems that arud is a wild mule. It's a type of wild animal that would come and be mazik the crap of a person. So to go ahead and avoid this, what they would do is they'd build a wall, and on the other side of the wall, they would go ahead and plant crops and let the wild animal, let this wild mule eat that crop. In other words, and it'll save it from going into the main field. So they kind of give a little sheikhat. They'd bribe this wild mule. So this little field that's outside the wall, they'd cultivate that area, and then the wild mule would eat that and leave alone the main crop. So let's say a person is there for 3 years, and guy comes after 3 years, what are you doing on this land? And he's saying, I bought it from you, right? We're going to see it's not a chazaka. Why? Says the Gemara, why? Amar Yehuda says, Amar Yehuda, Hayman the achsik miguda the aroida levar, loy havi chazaka, my taima, Meima Amad, the owner of the field says to himself, Kol dezora nami arude ochlele. Anything that he's planting over there, who's going to eat it? The mule's going to eat it. So I'm not losing anything. It's not like, Shani Chazaka is like Hada Ara, Hada Peir. If you don't have Shani Chazaka, you're eating my Peir. So here, that's meant for the wild mules anyway. So therefore, he didn't bother to go ahead and be Meicher. There's no reason for it. So since there's no reason to be Meicher, our rule of thumb doesn't apply, and mainly you don't have Shalish. The Shani Chazaka of him not saying anything is irrelevant, and therefore it's not a Chazaka. Rabbi Yehuda says Rabbi Yehuda. Another case, again, cases which are not a Chazaka. Achla, a person's eating a field 3 years, and on the field there are some peiros of arla. We know arla is the first 3 years of a fruit-bearing tree, and you can't, it's asavahana, and he didn't say anything. Ain't a chazaka. It's not a chazaka because the person's vat says he's not makbid. I can't eat the stuff anyway, right? So it's not makbid. So Tanya Nami Hachi, we have a brisa that substantiates the Amir Ravud is then. Achla arla, if he eats arla, the produce of arla, which is asabahna, shvius or shvius, which is hefker, the kalayim, which is asabahna, if it's klei kerem, ain't a chazaka. All these cases are not a chazaka. Why? Because he didn't pay to be meicher. Since why? He couldn't have enough from it anyway. I'm Rabbi Yosef. Achle shachas. Now shachas is a tefua that grows a third of its growth, right? It goes a third of its growth, and the person goes ahead and he cuts it. He cuts it for his animal for 3 years. Well, you have a chazaka. It's not a chazaka. This eating this, right? It's not a chazaka. Now, why is this guy not allowing the crop to grow? Why is he cutting it earlier? Because he's a thief and he's scared the guy's going to find him out. So what does he do? It's the earliest possible time where it has the halacha of a crop, which is a third of its growth. He's going to chop it. So it's a hichacha, if anything, that it's not that it is a chazaka, that it's not a chazaka. The fact that he's going ahead and quickly going ahead and getting rid of it because he's scared he's going to get caught. Lo yavi chazaka. It's not a chazaka. Amar Rava. However, Rava says if this field that's growing shachas is speaking with Sava Mechuza Kaima, it's in the area of the valley of Mechuza, a very rich place. The people of Mechuza, that Rava was the Rava there. Avi Chazaka, since these people are Ashirim, and it's their ways to go ahead and feed their animals shachas, so therefore it would be staring them. Again, this field they always grow shachas in, because usually what happens, at the point of shachas, no one cuts it. They wait till it grows the rest of its growth. But these people were so wealthy, they didn't have to wait that long. So therefore, it is a viable taina that if you've been on my field, right, that it's chazaka, because normally a person who uses it at that point in time, it's the same as what? As a complete peri that a person uses. So therefore, for the people of Mechuza, cutting shachas within 3 years, and no one saying anything would be a chazaka. So again, these are point-by-point cases of things that are chazaka. Rav Nachman says, Rav Nachman, hafticha, that's a field that's full of cracks in it. It's full of cracks in it. And le'avi chazaka, because the ball is not makbid on such a lousy field. Right? And another din, afik kura, va'ayil kura. Let's say this place was, you would plant a core, and it would give out that exact amount. Now we all know that seeds, you plant X amount of seeds, the multiple produce of the seed is what your profit is. You don't plant one seed and get one plant. You plant one seed, you'll get 10. I'm making 10 wheat plants, right? You plant 100 wheat plants, you're getting 1,000. So it multiplies all the time. So over here, if you have a field that's so poor that if you plant a core, all you produce is a core. In that case, the person is not. He says, "I'm not. It's not enough of a loss. It's not what a chazaka, because what the baal's not going to be on such a field. The guy's not going to be moicha." Another din, bahani debei reish galusa. Again, the reish galusa were the Jews who were very attached to the government in Bavel, who had quite a power itself, and sometimes they used the power. We speak often about the avodim and the reish galusa, who were very merciless, difficult people to deal with. But this is speaking about the family of the reish galusa, and these were people that you were scared of. Right? These are people of the reish galusa's house who you were really scared of. Therefore, loy mafsik bain, person, right, can't be mafsik in their karka. You know why? Ein adam mehem mafsik b'karkoi shalanu. Let's say a person of reish galusa comes to our field. Hey guys, let's say Joey Mafioso comes in your field, right? What are you going to do? You're going to be Michael, or you're going to say, give the, here, what can I lend you? Here's the tractor, here's the backhoe, So the Reish Galusa, if he's on your field, you're not going to be, the fact that you're there for 3 years is not a chazaka. Why? Because you were scared to be Michael. Again, you see the whole theme of this daf is going through the cases of why the excuse of chazaka doesn't exist. It's not there. So therefore, they can't be machzik in our fields, v'loi machzik in behu, and we can't be machzik in their fields, right? Because since they're so wealthy, they don't even bother being meicha, right? Adarabba, they're going ahead and they're happy that you're improving the field because they're going to throw you off anyway. So therefore, it's not a chazaka. Good. Okay. One of the things we said in the Mishnah was chazaka. We said avodim. Chazaka was avodim. Avodim are like karka, and they work for you all the time. So they produce peiros, and therefore we machlokes, Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Yishmael, which we'll meet in a second. And so this is chazaka. Now let me ask you a question. If you go ahead and have a wallet, that's not good. A wallet, it's in your rishus. Guy says, "What are you doing with my wallet?" You tell him it's my wallet. Who does it belong to? Your muhsik. It belongs to you. It belongs to you, right? Now, animals are metaltalin, but there's a problem. The fact they're by you is not a raya that they're yours. Since they're mobile and they have the ability to move, it could be they were mine. And I woke up the next morning and they were in your backyard. And now you're saying they're yours. That's called goydros. Goydros are usually little animals that move. So avodim, they have the ability to move. So why, if the evidence of my rishus is it a raya that you have chazaka, maybe it should be no different than what animals, that no matter how long they're there, it's not a chazaka, because they could say that they just walked in. That's what the Gemara is going to ask. Fred the Gemara kash. Avodim yesh lehem chazaka. Avodim have chazaka. Avam reish lakish. Hagoydrois ein lehem chazaka. Goydrois, animals that move, they don't have a chazaka. Look at Rashbam, guys. About 5-6 lines down. Hagoydrois ein lehem chazaka. Goydrois soin. B'chol dava mahalech b'drachim. Goydrois are small livestock or anything else that walks. Ubishvakim, that goes through the streets. That it's possible to say, may atzmai nichnis. It came in by itself. You allowed it into your house. And then you took control over it. It's not a chazaka. And you can't claim I purchased it. Avodim, they go all over. So we have a problem. If the svar of something that's mobile doesn't have chazaka because there's no raya, it's yours because it could have gone in by itself. So by avodim also, they could have walked in by themselves. So what's a raya that is in a chazaka? Amarava, what it means is eilehem chazaka la'alta, aviyeshnem chazaka la'achagim u'shana. They don't have a chazaka immediately, but they do what? Have a chazaka after 3 years. When it says it doesn't have a chazaka, it means alta. If you go ahead and you have it for 1 day, right, and say l'kuchi biyadi, right? So therefore, again, la'alta, it's not a chazaka. But after 3 years, after 3 years, it would be a chazaka. I guess after such a long period of time, it would make it so. Well, again, one more time. Goydros, we say na chazaka avodim goydros. Amarava eilehem avodim goydros chazaka la'alta, like other metaltalim that if you're holding them for 1 day, right? But for 3 years, la'achar shlesh hashanim, where the bailam should have been meicha. Again, 3 years is a long time to have an eved, and the guy wasn't meicha, and achinami there would be what there would be. So guys, if a guy's going to claim, what are you doing with my eved after 1 day? And you say, I bought it. You're right. The fact that you have it, you're not believed. After 3 years, when you had an ability to go ahead and open your mouth and complain that so-and-so is in the other guy's rishus, and you didn't go ahead and do it, that's a chazaka. Amarava. Now, it was the Eved Kanani cotton, mutal varisa. If it was a child, a baby, in a crib, and that crib, now it can't move at all, right? It can't move at all, then yesh chazaka alta. There immediately you'll have a chazaka, because you don't have the svar of goydros, right? It doesn't move whatsoever. It says my pshita, it's pasha. What are you telling me? It says my tzricha, the isle ima. The mother's there with it. So let's say the mother went ahead and brought the child up there. Just like the mother's mobile, the mother will take the child with it. And therefore, the immobile child becomes mobile. And therefore, what's our rule of thumb? La alta, it won't be a chazaka because it's movable. Kamash malon, imulay menashe bra. Then a woman is not going to forget her child. A woman is not going to forget her child. In other words, what's the svara, guys? The mother and the child are working for you. Right now, the mother, we can say, brings in the child, and the mother forgets the child and leaves. And therefore, the child being there is not a raya that it's yours. Maybe the mother brought it in, The mother may forget a lot of things. They don't forget their child. And therefore, if the child is by you, and we're going to say it's your child because it can't move. It can't move. Honey, easy. The achla chusha. There were these goats. They went into a field and they ate peeled barley. Walked to a field and they ate peeled barley. Binardoi. So, Shem b'shusa nizik it's chayiv, nezik shalim. So us and Murray came along the Murray of the Chulshla and Tafsinu in order to ensure that he's going to get paid for the loss that he incurred on the peeled barley. He grabbed the goats as a security. He grabbed the goats. Vahavi Kotoyin Tuva, and he's making a claim that they ate a tremendous amount. There's no aid as to what they ate. Amavu the Shmuel said Shmuel's father, Yachol Litain Ad Kedei Demayan. The Balasairim, right, can claim up to what the amount of the mayan. No, it's not more than the word. The Iboy Omar, right? The Kuchi Ibiyadi. Migu that what? The Izim themselves were purchased by me. And he would have been believed because the Gizim were in his Rishus. So you had these goats, they ate Chushla, and now he has the goats. He was typhus the goats. So believe me that what? That they ate X amount. Migu, I could have said what? I'm get this straight. Let me get this straight again. I thought I understood it. What's his claim? In other words, he was claiming that, let's say the goats were worth $100, he was claiming they ate $500. So Amavu the Shmuel, Yachol, the owner of the Sa'irim, is able to liton shachlu izim rak ad kedei demayim, only the worth of the izim. The boy Omar, because he could have said that the izim themselves, the kuchi biyadi, he purchased them, right? And he would be believed. And I don't know why they're goydrois. Okay, that's next kasha. Okay, so in other words, the maximum amount he can claim is the worth of the goats. Migu, he could have said he bought the goats. Fred the Gemara, Vamrei Shlokish, like goydrois elam chazaka. So Isim don't have chazaka, they're goydrois. So we're going to say something unique about goats. Shiny easy, the misira l'raya, they give it over to a raya. In other words, it seems like goats are very pugnacious animals. They're frisky, they move around, and therefore they require shmira. So the fact that they're in your rishus, would go ahead and say that you must have bought them, because they're not going to go ahead and just go by themselves, because there's always a roya watching them. When do we say goydrus elam chazaka? That's by sheep, that's by rams. But it says the frisky goats that have a roya on them all the time, the fact they're in your rishus, you would believe it's yours. So believe me that these goats ate X amount up to the worth of the goats. Migu could have said he bought the goats. What about goydrus? The halacha of goydrus doesn't apply by goats. Why not? Because goats are watched all the time. Fred the Gemara, the goats are not watched all the time. Look at Safra Upanya. There's the afternoon and the evening where they seem to go from they would go from the wherever they are to back to the owner without the roya watching them. It says Gemara ben Ardoi Kaya Shchichi. In Ardoi, Arabs are found. My Shaya, right? I got a lot of Arab workers around there. The ben Ardoi Kaya Shchichi. There are Arab workers. And therefore, they wouldn't let the goats just go by themselves. And therefore, they go from the hands of the roya to the hands of the owner. Memela, there's never been a goydrus because they're always being watched. Very good. Now, we had a din in the Mishnah, guys, of a field that is irrigated all the time. It makes payers all the time. So we had a machloikas, you might not recall, it's been quite a few days, between Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Shmuel said, for a chazaka, you do not need 3 full years. What the Chacham said, 3 full years. Rabbi Shmuel said 2 months, right? Or 3 months. 3 months at the end of the first year. A full middle year, and 3 months at the beginning of that year, a total of 18 months. Rabbi Akiva said 2, 12, 2, total of a total of 14. He said now one. He said 14, or I think it's not 14. Yeah, total of about. I'm forgetting. I'm sorry. Rabbi Shmuel says Gimel Chadashim B'Rishayim Gimel B'Rishayim Yuches. Rabbi Akiva Mechodesh B'Rishayim, not 2, 1. Chodesh B'Rishayim, Chodesh B'Achronim, Yudbeis is 12. Okay, so again, they don't. Both Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shmuel do not require 3 complete years for a state that's being produced, that's being you have mashkin, you have water there all the time. Okay, says the Gemara. Rabbi Shmuel Laima Shleisha Chadashim Laima near Ikaminayu. Let's say a field that was not producing fruit, it simply was being plowed, is the difference between the two. The Rabbi Shmuel Sava near Leihavi Chazaka. Rabbi Shmuel is of the opinion that plowing the field is not a chazaka, but you need a pre, and therefore it required 3 months, which is enough for a pre. Let's see the Rashbam, 2 lines from the bottom. Rabbi Shmuel Sava near Leihavi Chazaka. Hilkach tzarich gimel chadashim b'rishayna v'gimel b'achrayna the b'hachi gidol pre called tzarchei. Then you'd have a full pre. V'yud beis chadashim b'emsa d'v'inim v'tzufim. So again, full 3, 12, full 3. Maybe Akiva Sava Habi Chazaka Hilkach b'chodesh echad sagi kedei lasos nir. So now, guys, listen to this. So Rabbi Akiva requires the following: one plowing season, complete year, and another plowing season. So that's a total of 14. And so that would be the difference between 2 of them, right? Says the Gemara. The Tizbara, the Rabbi Akiva, my area chayresh. If you're going to tell me that near is a chazaka, why do you therefore need to be chayresh? I feel you're mechadami. Why do you need? Did I say chayresh? It's to be chayresh, right? Right, chayresh. Excuse me. Why do you need a month? Even 1 day that it's plowed should be enough. So it should be a year and 2 days. Rashi, I feel your mechadami, Rashbam, talking like Rashi. Yachalas is by near. You're able to go ahead and what? In 1 day make a near. So why we need a whole month? Guys, outside. You want to tell me the svara of Rabbi Akiva, of Rabbi Yishmael, then I understand well. A near is not going to go ahead, meaning an act of plowing is not going to go ahead and float my boat, and it's not a chazaka. You need a complete pre. 3 months is a pre. So that makes sense. You want a tiny Rabbi Akiva, however, that a near would be enough. So therefore, a month, 12 and a month. Read the Gemara, great kasha. If you don't need a pre, all you need is the act of plowing to create a chazaka. Why would you need a full month to go ahead and create that? Even 1 day. It takes 1 day to plow a field. If you plow a field in 1 day, it should be enough for a chazaka. So have a day, a year, and a day. Right? So that's the Gemara's kasha. Ela de kuliyama near loy havi chazaka. Everyone says near plowing is not a chazaka, and now therefore we have to explain what exactly is the machlokes between Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva. The difference between them is peiru rabba, peiru zuta. A lot of peirus, a small peiru. Says Rashbam. Rashbam svirule lehavi chazaka at sheyiloki peiru rabba. The hainu kishenigmra kol hatfua, when all the tfua is complete. Lefikach tzarich shlesh chadashim. Going soirim, which is barley, shibola shua, which is oats, viadoshim, which is lentils, shagadlim begimel chadashim. Their full growth takes only 3 months. Rabbi Akiva said, no, pirizuta, the hainu could go in shachas, shegidol b'shleisha yoyim, which go in 30 days. Avi chazaka. So again, peira rabba would be a peira that takes a longer time. Rabbi Akiva says no, a peira that takes little bit of time, even 30 days, a month. But near, everyone would hold near is not a chazaka. That's what we're holding right now. Tan Rabbanan says near ain't a chazaka. Near is not a chazaka. Plowing the field, the act of plowing the field is not considered a chazaka, that if a person's not moicha, it should be oiler to the cheshbon of 3 years. And yesh oimim haris a chazaka. And there's someone who say it is a chazaka. Man yesh oimim, who's the yesh oimim? Rav Chisda says Rav Chisda, Rav Achahi. It's the Amoyer Rav Acha, the Tanya, near Shana, the Zora base. If you go ahead and plow 1 year and then plant for 2, or base nira, or nira, or you go, so read it, nira Shana v'Zora base, or nira base v'Zora Shana, or if you plowed for 2 and planted for 1, ain't a chazaka. Why? Because near is not going to go ahead and be added to the year. It doesn't work. Rav Acha, on the other hand, Rav Acha would say it is a chazaka. So what do you see? Rav Acha is of the opinion near is chazaka. So who's the yesh oimim? Is chazaka is Rav Acha. Rav Ashi says Rav Ashi, Sho'ilis says Rav Ashi. I lost the place. Rav Ashi, She'ilis, I asked, Kol Gedoli Ador, the Amuli, they told me near Harizeh Chazaka. They hold like Rav Acha, that it's Chazaka. So the Freg the Gemara, Amalei Rav Bibi Rav Nachman. My time in demand the near Havi Chazaka. What's the reason the person says that plowing a field is Chazaka? Says Gemara Shlei Ovid Inish, the Krivulei La'ara B'Shasik, in order that a person finds a person going ahead plowing his field and not be Meicha, and that's the reason it's a Chazaka. Well, my time in the Madam near Loi Havi Chazaka. Says Gemara, Meimam, he says to himself, Kol Shiva v'Shiva, every sliver, every splinter, the Karvu, that the aisle bay, everything they're doing, they're just improving my field. They're working for me, so I'm getting a freebie. So in other words, you walk by, you see a guy going ahead and plowing your field. So there seems to be a psychological difference of opinions over here. According to the opinion that it's a good chazaka, it's because you're not going to go ahead and walk by and watch a guy working your field and not say anything. According to another opinion, what are you talking about? Let the guy do all he wants. As long as he's not eating my payers, I'm good. So therefore, it would not be a chazaka, because that fact that it's not moicha is not right to anything. Sholchulei b'nei Pum Nahara, that's the name of a place. They sent the following question: Rav Nachman bar Rav Chisda, Yilamdeinu Rabbeinu teach us, Nira havi chazaka, right? Nira havi chazaka. Again, this is speaking about a stay habal. Okay. And this is right, that near is a chazaka. So 1 day at the end of the year, 12 in the middle, and 1 day, remember the kash will be asking Rabbi Kiva, guys. If near is a chazaka, guys, if near is a chazaka, 1, 12, 1. Or not. Some Rav Nachman told the people of Punaira, Rav Acha of the Chol Gedoli Ador Army, near Havi Chazaka. They all say it's Chazaka. So all you need for 3 years in a stay baal is what? Is 1 day, a year and a day. Rav Nachman Yitzchak, Revusa Lemachshav Gavre. Is it a chiddush to count people that tell me that what is the chazaka? That's not Haravu Shmuel, Bavel, Rav Shmuel and Bavel, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Kiva, the Tanoim in Eretz Yisrael, Amri Shenir Lo Yavi Chazaka. No, it's you have your list of the people holding this chazaka. I can go ahead and do you one better. The 2 greatest Amroyim of all time, besides Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Shlakish, Rabbi Shmuel, the big heavy hitters, Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shmuel, right? Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Kiva, Masnis, and he, right? Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Kiva. How do you know that near is not a chazaka, guys? You know from my Mishnah. It's from my Mishnah, right? What? Where do you see that in our Mishnah? Right? Where do you see that in Mishnah, guys? What do they say? You need fruits, guys. Let's go back to the top of the page. According to Rabbi Shmuel, you need 3 months because that completes a fruit. Like Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Kiva, 2 months, that completes a fruit. Not 2 months, 1 month, excuse me. 1 month, that completes the shachas. But near would be what? 1 day. Near would be 1 day. Guys, you hear? Guys, one more time. You guys outside. The fact that Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva are requiring a month to be counted as a year of chazaka shows they do not hold near as a chazaka. because near would be only 1 day. So Rabbi Shmuel 3 months, Rabbi Akiva 1 month. Clearly, they're holding near is not a chazaka. So says Rav Nachman by Yitzchak, right? You see the Tanoim, Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva do not hold near as the chazaka. Okay, and that about Rabbi Shmuel says about Rav Maihi. What do you see? Rav says it's not a chazaka. Dam Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rav, Div Rabbi Shmuel. These are the words of Rabbi Shmuel of Rabbi Akiva. Al Chacham Umayim Cheska Shalosh Shanim Miyoim Liyoim has to be what Miyoim Liyoim. Now, what does Yom Yom mean? Lamuute Lav Lamuute near. This doesn't contain what a near, right? And that was constantly Maya. It has to be Yom Liyom, and it can't be what a month. It can't be a day. It has to be what. So therefore, you see that Rav who said this then holds like that near is not a chazaka. Shmuel, where does he Shmuel holds that it's not a chazaka? Mai. Dam Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Rav Yehuda says in the name of Shmuel. All right. The beginning of the three. That you have three harvesting, right? You go ahead, and it's considered 1 year. We said first you take the dates, and then you take the olives, and then you take the grapes. That would be a chazaka, right? That's right. Who says this? Shmuel. Dear Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Kiva, Yigdol Shalish Gedeiros. You have to have 3 what? You have 3 harvests of dates. The Yitzpar, or 3 harvests of Anavim, or 3 harvests of Zaysim, of olives. So when you see that you need to harvest the dates, obviously they do not hold the act of near. They don't hold the act of near. Good. Okay, let's go. What did we discuss so far? We're discussing the shiloh of whether harvesting whether plowing the field is chazak or not. Seems to be a big machloikus over here. We have some heavy hitters saying yes and heavy hitters saying no. The Gemara is concluding that the heavy hitters saying no are Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva and Rav and Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva from our Mishnah. Rav again in explanation, and Rav in the explanation of the Mishnah of the 3 years is that once he goes ahead and is explaining that it's not totally in days. So obviously he's holding that wide. It's that near is not a chazaka. Shmuel as well. He's explaining Rabbi Shmuel that depends upon fruits. Once it depends upon fruits, it's not depends upon near. So they're doing that was now. What's the difference between Rav and Shmuel? Is a difference. They both seem to hold that what near is not a chazaka, and also that the amount of the fruit. So Shneim Chachamim Oimim, they both said they need 3 complete years, and Charish is not a chazaka. What's the difference? They need 3 complete years. Samabaya dekel naira ikabinayu. A small dekel there is between them. Let's see the Rashbam in this last piece. Dekel naira ikabinayu. Dekel yalda ubachura, a very young palm tree. The pachas mi gimel shanim shleimos. Tunois gimel pa'amim, it needs 3 times. To the Shmuel havi chazaka, the gimel gedeiros. There will be a chazaka with these 3 harvesting. Afagav the leka gimel shanim, even though you don't have 3 years. In other words, it seems when the tree is smaller, you have to cut it more and prune it more, and get the grapes and get the produce going more. So within 3, since Shmuel holds 3, this will be within 3 years. It will be a chazak in this tree. Why? Because you had 3 crops within those 3 years. The Rav in your Gimel Shana Miyom Liyom, you need 3 complete years, right? You need. Okay, so the Rashbam's pshat is difference between Rav and Shmuel. According to Shmuel, you'd have 3 harvests from the tree, even though it's less than 3 years. According to Rav, you need 3 complete years. Again, Rav and Shmuel are arguing the Shitas Chachonim of Yom Liyom, right? So what do you need? So therefore, we're explaining what you need is, according to Shmuel, 3 harvests. According to Rav, 3 complete years. Rabbi Yochanan Perish says to Rashbam, Dekel Naira, Dekel Hameshe Peiroisav, Koidim Gamran. It doesn't hold its peiros. The peiros go ahead, and they fall off a tree before there's a gemara. Okay. The Divrei Shmuel Doma being a Gimel Gedeiros, like have a chazaka. You don't have a chazaka. Why? Like Goda, because you didn't go ahead and harvest it. The Divrei Rav Doma being a Gimel Shanim from day to day. By who machzik by Gimel Shanim, you were in your possession from that period of time. Havi chazaka, it would be a good chazaka. That's the lashon of the Chananel, Rabbeinu Chananel. And a final lashon, if your lashon is there, I feel the Shmuel like boy legruya migam shanim. He's not coming to detract less than 3 years. which the first one did. According to the first one, if you had 3 harvests within 3 years, it'd be a chazaka. According to this, no, it'd have to be on the tree 3 years. But now, since it's going ahead and falling off, it's not going to be a chazaka. Okay. Lishna Achrina Pirish. Oy dekel naira dekel the Euphrin shoyse pamayim b'shana. It's such a good tree. It produces twice a year. The Shmuel b'shana mechza v'chazaka. It produces twice a year. You'll be able to get in a year and a half. You'll be able to get 3 harvests. And Mashen can Rav. You would need what 3 complete years.